guys, this is me, Malorian, and this is going to be another War Machine battle report. And another one here with my Cygnar up against Stevie's Khador. So last time we played, it was up against his Butcher 3, and it did not go well for Butcher 3. Now, this one here is a new build that he is playing with Zerkova, and it should be a lot tougher for me to try and deal with. Some of the reasons for this is because Zerkova can make clouds, which really impede my shooting. Another one is that her feet shuts down my shooting, and I can't shoot if I'm in her control area. And the third one is that all these models here, all these Man-O-Wars, are going to be at very high armor 21 when they're in shield wall, and all have 8 boxes. So between it being that I can't usually get direct shots against him, and at times I can't shoot at all, and then even if I try and put something inside the cloud and then shoot it, you get Electro Leaps to Man-O-Wars probably aren't going to do very much damage, and I'll probably trade my feet for killing one Man-O-War. So that's really bad. So in the scenario here though, I think it's actually the perfect scenario for me to deal with this problem. Because what you want to always do, if you're facing a cloud wall or a feat that shuts things down like that globally, is you need to space out. If you have things on either flanks, well, that means a cloud wall can't really cover everything. Whereas if I bunch together in the middle, a cloud wall can easily block all my models. Secondly, when Zerkova goes and pops her feet, there's only so much things she can really cover. And so what I'm hoping to do is force the models of his team into the center while I try and pick away the things on the flanks and then try and start scoring on the zones and also on the flag on the right. So that's my plan, and we'll see how well it works and how much trouble I get into. So he won initiative and wanted to go first, and really, I mean, he goes up there and makes all these clouds, although they really weren't needed. He made sure that all of his stuff is staying way back so that even if I move up, I can't shoot anything. So there really isn't really any worry right now. I think he's really just doing those clouds just out of habit. And one of the things I started looking at now is that if he has to start being very careful with placing clouds and stuff, I might also want to be looking to a Death Clock victory. So that's going to be really my two. I don't ever think Assassination will be on the table, but I believe that Clock, and probably more so the Scenario, is going to be my win condition here. So on my turn, what I really want to do is just spread out. I want to move over my Jakes and double Firefly package off to the left. Each of the Storm Striders, they're peeling off to the outsides. On the inside, that's where I'm going to be really kind of hold the fort with Dynamo and Reliant, and because of that, make sure they get the armor on them, Arcane Shield on Reliant, and Electrify onto Dynamo, and otherwise, I put up, yeah, Magnetic Field. I'm camping, and I just got to see where he goes and what he gives me to shoot. So for that turn then, he does kind of move up more cautiously, so he has been having to give the Man-O-Wars on the left ghostly so they can deal with that terrain there. So he hasn't been able to make 4 clouds, just 3. But again, with these 3 and using the building, he makes this perfect little screen so that those Man-O-Wars can be kind of like contesting that zone, and there's really nothing I can do about it. Meanwhile, he's kind of just like holding out and hanging out there with the one Dragoon on the left there, or sorry, on the right. Well, kind of left and the right. You know, he was wondering if they should go in, but if they did, they just die. They can't exactly just run away, so they really just have to kind of like wait until the Man-O-Wars are up there to kind of support. So looking at this, I do have some options. I mean, clearly on my turn now, I don't need to contest his flag. He didn't get a solo onto it. I can easily get a solo onto my flag and be fairly safe. And then at the same time, even though he blocked a lot of the targets with those clouds, well, I can go up there and I can get Dynamo onto his objective, and I can destroy his objective and be up 2 points. I'm also hoping to take out the Dragoon on the right, and if I get lucky, maybe I can shoot down the Man-O-Wars on the left, which are in the zone, and score there too. That'd be amazing, but realistically, I'm probably going for 2 points. So that's what I do. I mean, obviously I'm not going to use my feet yet because I don't have to. I want to kind of hold that feat and leave it as a threat. But really what happens there is that the Strider on the right goes, and I'm trying to shoot at this guy, and I need like 4s to hit. I miss a shot, so even though it really should have been an easy 2 hits and probably unhorse that Dragoon, unfortunately I don't, so the Dragoon's still alive. Not that really that bad, actually. Otherwise, I got Nemo on the flag, because even though he get a few shots onto me probably, I'd be able to shrug off most of it, so I'm okay with that. I'm able to go over with Dynamo and shoot down the objective, so already I'm getting those 2 points. Reliant comes up and shoots and hits his destroyer there. Right now, that AoE 3 is off on the side, just to kind of remember. But the great thing with this interaction now is that that destroyer is in that AoE that Reliance gun leaves, and what it does is, I mean, if you enter or end in that AoE, you take a POW 10 lightning roll. So if the mechanics want to come and fix the destroyer, they gotta take a POW 10, which they totally don't want to do. This is an interaction I never noticed before, that the Reliance gun kind of keeps mechanics away, so that's kind of cool. Meanwhile on the left, I do my shots, but my dice go a little bit cold. I do like maybe 6 damage to one of the little mana wars there, and that's really it. So really, damage-wise, I didn't really perform what I really wanted to do, but I'm up 2 points, and I made sure to do this turn really fast, so for death clock purposes, I'm looking fine. Now in this turn here, this is going to be Zerkova's feat turn, and so it's going to kind of take him a little bit of time to plan it out and get these things out there. As you look on the right there, I now have a 15-minute lead, which is pretty significant. Now, with this, what he does is several things that are a problem. You know, the mana wars in the middle, they're slowly working their way up, not too fast. You know, I'm kind of thinking they should be faster, but they're at a spot there where also on their Zerkova's feet, I can't charge or anything else like that. So they're all at a distance where I cannot advance and attack with my jacks, which is really what he wants. He doesn't want my jacks getting the alpha and starting to destroy his guys before, you know, I can... he wants to get into me, because if he charges me, he's going to do lots of damage with all of his assault shots and all these things. Meanwhile, on the left, he now finally has a Dragoon on the flag, so he's going to counter score, and so get 1 point. You can already see there. Otherwise, the mana wars are kind of hiding behind the building because he wants to kind of prep them for Ghostly later, and they can kind of charge through. And then just when I kind of figure out what I can do and that I'll be okay, then he runs up this Dragoon and makes 3 clouds around it so that I can't see it. So yeah, that's going to be a real pain because, yeah, if I walk into the clouds and don't engage him, he's going to countercharge me, and he's there contesting, and, you know, I really wish I would have unhorsed him, because then at least I would just have to kill the unmounted version right now, but now this is really bad. So I'm going to have to try and figure out what to do under this kind of really tough situation. Now you can't see the clocks, but I gotta say, whereas usually I'm very fast, this turn I really took my time, because there was some different ways I could go with it. For one, I could really just stay safe with Nemo, stay back. I can't score on the flag anyway, so I just kind of stay back and try and just contest and move it back on to him. That would be more pushing the death clock win condition, and I'm not really comfortable going with that. You know, if I really have to draw back and away, and all of a sudden he starts flooding the zone and I can't score any more points, maybe he starts scoring more so aggressively on the left, all of this could really fall apart. So I really want to keep up the scenario pressure. So what I need to try to do that then is I really need those Fireflies to go up there and just beat up that Dragoon. So they go up there, I allocate 1 extra, of course Finch gives 1 more too, and then when they go in there and start stabbing, it does not work. Now while I'm in those clouds, I'm also -2 to hit, so instead of needing 4s, I need 6s, but I just miss attacks and don't roll hot for damage, and so in the end, I don't even unhorse him, and that's really, really crappy for having spent 2 of these guys to do it. Now otherwise, what I decide to do then with Nemo is to try and at least move away so I can score. Nemo's going to go into the cloud, and then I am going to be doing a Force Hammer to slam him back. Now unfortunately, while mounted, he's steady, so I can't knock him down. but he does move further away. Now he's unhorsed. This is one of the reasons why to think about this turn so carefully, because I'm definitely having Nemo in a scary spot. And yeah, that is definitely not good. Now, one of the things I was thinking about doing this turn was getting Arcane Shield onto Nemo. And the problem is that when I measured it out, Junior just wasn't close enough. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what bad positioning for him. In fact, I had also left him out of 6 inches of the Reliant, so he didn't get an extra focus either. And maybe because I was so upset about that and upset about myself, really, I kind of forgot that Nemo is a unit, and if I just would have put Arcane Shield onto Finch, the unit would have gotten +3 armor, and he would have gotten that too. So, for future reference, I'm going to make sure to do that. Otherwise, there's nothing really Dynamo can do, so he pulls back. I found a happy spot with the Reliant where I can shoot the Destroyer again and be outside of Zerkova's feet, so I do that. You know, the little AoEs there again. Otherwise, on the left, I'm able to shoot and unhorse the Dragoon, and then I have my one Firefly with the sidekick on it, zip up and contest the flag. And yeah, so at this point here, I have 3 points, he has 1. Nemo's camping 2, and I realize that Nemo is in trouble here, and what I'm kind of hoping is that there's too much here for him to kind of get through, that he can't really get to Nemo, but I realize I'm taking a chance. So my opponent goes until the clock, looks at the assassination, and really from all the numbers, I mean, this is why he always has that white pad there, that notepad, and so he can work out these things and be able to write down whatever notes or things he doesn't want to forget. But by his calculations, it is a favorable assassination, and the odds are in his favor. So he starts going through with his assassination run, and everything falls apart. So let me tell you what he wanted to do. He wanted to shoot some of those destroyers into Nemo, do some early damage. Then he's going to go and charge with the Man-O-Wars into the Firefly and destroy the Firefly. Then Zerkova's going to come over and blast at Nemo all she can, get a little bit more damage. And then finally, the dismount of the Dragoon is going to charge through here and finish off Nemo if he's not dead already. Well, this is how it went down. Destroyer number 1 shoots and rolls 111 on damage. So yeah, that was not really part of the plan. Then he starts going to the charge of the Man-O-Wars, and then he starts realizing that because of positioning and needing to leave that hole for where he wants his dismount to go through, he can't actually get as many onto me as he's hoped. And it didn't really matter because his dice really failed him, and then he fails to kill the Firefly. So at this point here, he had spent, you know, a good 15 minutes, you know, to 12 minutes calculating this, and now it was all falling apart. So, yeah, past this, he knows the assassination is going to fail. He tries shooting some more and doing some damage. I have to use my focus to negate it and still take about 3 damage or something, but yeah, the assassination fails. And worse yet, because of his final positioning, he does not get something to my flag, so I go up to 4-1, and then he attacks with everything against the sidekick Firefly, and I'm left with 1 box in movement. He just could not catch a break. His dice were so crappy, and so now, because he didn't counterscore, I just need 2 more points to win, and one of them can automatically just be from the flag. So really all I have to do is kill off the dismount, 2 mechanics, and Ragman. And yeah, basically what I do is a Firefly moves over, takes a free strike, then shoots into mechanics, kills both of them, and then Nemo just has to pop feet, shoot into the dismount, boost damage, it dies, Electro leaps into Ragman, kills him, and then I dominate for the win. So I take this one here, 6 points to 1 on scenario. But yeah, this was no cakewalk. This was definitely a game where he had the tools he needed to give me a whole bunch of trouble. Now, luckily, my strategy worked of trying to go around, shooting around, picking things off. I had some cool dice that made things harder on me, but it did kind of work in the end. Now, of course, I went the separate way, because that move he did with the Dragoon and the 3 flags, that was fantastic, because it was so hard for me to deal with, really shut down my plan. That's where I had to decide to go with this ballsy way with Nemo and trying to blast him. Now, if I would have gotten Arcane Shield onto him, Zerkova also has Hex Blast, so she could have gotten it off anyway, but it would have been something where his order of activations would have had been different, and it would have been a lot harder. So, I mean, it's good that I figured out how to get that on, but I mean, I also got to kind of like thank the dice gods that I could have very easily have just died here and lost this game. So anyway, for those of you who've been asking for close Khador battle reports, I hope you enjoy this one. You know, the strategy that Stevie had for Zerkova was an excellent one. And man, I mean, a lot of shooting lists will just be shut down by this. So I'm really interested to see if he continues to play this and use it against anyone else. But otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye. Hey there, if you liked watching this video, please go down and give it a like down below you here. And if you have any concerns or questions or comments, please put those in the comment section as well. You know, the best way for me to give you what you want to see is if you tell me what you like seeing and what you don't like seeing. So otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.